Back in bold. A dreary day in Coritiba, unfortunately. Mr. Zach, Mr. Credit with Rip, the Ripper. I know you're not doing dreary days, huh? In the northeast of Brazil. How was the first couple days, week been in the real jungle, my friend?
I mean, it was beautiful today. It was beautiful today. I still need to find out the jungle. I've heard people say that, but I still need to figure out the jungle. But it's been good. It's different compared to Rio, that is for sure. But the beaches are beautiful and it's chill vibes.
We'll hit on that point right now because I told you that. Oh, I was just you because I made fun of you on Twitter. You're like, what do you mean? I was just in Rio and I know Beleza. I said, no, bro. The Beleza, the vibe, it's totally different from Rio to the Northeast. And other dudes, they think Rio's crazy because they've seen the south of Brazil and they relate it to that, right? But explain and expand on what do you mean exactly is so different so far.
I mean, it just looks different. Rio is obviously a lot more cosmopolitan. Out here, they still got like the tile
It's the worst.
apartments, stuff like that. There's obviously some new buildings and stuff going up, but yeah, they're like older school like buildings. City's still big. It's still very similar to like the promenade of Rio, where you can run on it and things like that. But people are like active, just like I'm sure in Rio. Like people are out running and walking at like 6 a.m., 7 a.m. Like lots of
That's when the
people.
sun comes up.
Yeah, dude, it's right here at like 5 in the morning. It's kind of
And it
crazy.
gets dark at 5. That's year round too by the
Yeah,
equator.
it's getting dark right now at 5:15. You know, the sun's going down. Um, but yeah, I mean, people are hanging out by the beach. It's like a small town, like beach type of vibe. Uh, a lot of things open up in the afternoon, I would say. Like there's still things that are open during the day, but a lot of the restaurants and whatnot are like opening afternoon or for dinner. But yeah, people are, when I was out there at 9 a.m., like people are just hanging out by all the beach beds, all the chairs. Like they're just gonna hang out on the beach all day. So it is kind of like that Blaza vibe. Like, but it's like that 3, 4 days during the week. People are just hanging, drinking coconuts, chilling. So,
Is it still stuff going on around 8, 9, or is most of it shut off besides certain tourist bars?
honestly, where I am, there's stuff going on till like 9, 10, 11 o'clock. Like the restaurants are like lively and they're like packed at night. At least where I am. There's also like right across the street from me is literally a food truck like center. It's under a huge pavilion and there's like 50 food trucks from like wine trucks, bars to hamburgers to Greek food to sushi. Like they have every type of thing. It's like right across the street. So I think my area is kind of like it's got a lot of things like going on for restaurant stuff, but it's during the day it's like pretty chill, relaxed.
Yeah, so when I lived in João Pessoa, I didn't stay in Cabo Branco or Timboa. That's like the main tourist areas. So when it got dark, it's like everything shut down. Okay, so I think for a lot of people, the Northeast, you should be a morning person. Get your cup of coffee. The sun comes up at 5 a.m. Get your running in. Walk on the beach. But it's not really a late night place. Obviously, one from the danger, but I think because it's near the equator and it's 5 to 5. Basically when the sun is sunrise and sunset, it's more of like during the day beach thing. And at night, obviously you can still find it in certain places, but like even João Pessoa is like dead. Outside like the main hot summer season and in the touristic areas. So I think a lot of people should be aware of that. It's not like Rio, going all the time. But again, like most of Brazil, people are going out, having dinner at 7, 8 o'clock, the latest, and then, by 12, it's very few that super many clubs are open till 2, 3 o'clock in the morning compared to other places, I think. So,
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I've only been here less than a week, so I still haven't gotten a full grasp of everything. But from what you're saying, it sounds about right. Like, really, what they're doing is just going to nice restaurants. The restaurant scene seems pretty solid, seems pretty good, but I doubt like there's that many places to go out, to stay out late. So I'm sure people are. It's a shorter night type of thing.
hey, some big stuff that you know all about that has been rocking the Twitter bro world, especially money Twitter. What happened? Some guy's not paying people, and it's a huge outcry.
Yeah, so I mean, if you guys are on Twitter X, the Sam Millsap situation, or is now being called Scam Millsap, just one of the classic like coaching influencers or coaches teaching coaches how to coach situation. Um, but yeah, it's blowing up on Twitter. It's getting some steam all over Twitter and Instagram, and it's funny to watch because I was in that space. I've been in the sales space, the operations space, and it's just crazy how two different the stories are. You ran into it as well a little bit. You saw some of it, did you? A little
What, Paul
bit.
Millsap? Millsap or what?
Sam, Sam Millsap is like a 22, 23-year-old kid, teaching coaches type of guy, like the info space. And the crazy thing about that is just the idea that he hired an agency or like sales reps instead of you teaching them. You hire someone to coach the sales reps, have them come in and sell your sales calls. You still have to pay them because they're bringing in money to your business. And so he just decided, hey, we're not going to pay these sales reps. So they brought, let's say $50,000, $100,000 into his business, and he's like, yeah, I'm not going to pay you. So then the agency ended up coming out of their pocket to then pay the sales guys. And I'm very familiar with the industry because I did online remote sales in the past. I've had 2 to 3 situations where I haven't been paid as well. So yeah, it's just funny to see the back and forth on that. You're not huge into the info space or the coaching space, so
No, but like when I first got on the Twitter and I saw all these dudes, oh, 50, 100, 150K months are minimum wage and all the talk and the driving all these different cars, I'm like, okay, something rings bells in my head that that it's BS. And like I've never been a course buyer type of dude. Like I've never been, yeah, I'm going to buy this and it's going to change my life. But the more I started knowing about it, the more I started meeting different people. There's actually legit people in it who are making a shit ton of money, and it's broken a lot of preconceptions or beliefs about money and what is possible with Wi-Fi money with the dudes I met and I talked to. So it kind of changed my.
what we've talked about previously is like the materialism, the flex lifestyle marketing is slowly going to weed its way out. Now, yes, it gravitates towards the under 25, under 30 crowd. Like people see the nice cars and all of that, and that's what happens. These kids don't know anything about finance, so then they finance a freaking Lambo. They finance a $200,000, $300,000 car. They don't really care whether the car is actually like a good risk. There's a difference between good exotics and bad exotics. So then they finance a car at 300 grand. It's really worth 240, and then they finance it at a high interest rate. Then they try to resell it back, and the car is depreciated. So then they're losing money. They can't sell it back, and they basically just have to swap to a less car at the same rate. So it's just like this crazy scenario. But I think the lifestyle marketing is what's gonna people are gonna like finally grow the fuck up with that. They're gonna, and it happens in my space, in the finance space. Oh, we're just gonna wear a bunch of chains, a bunch of diamonds, flash like Rolexes, stand in front of rented cars, lease cars, and get these expensive exotics, and that's how they sell stuff. And then that's where the scamming comes into place because it's not based off of authenticity and value. It's based off of materialism and flexing. And so the problem is the last 2 3 years we've gotten way too far on the believing the materialism and the flexing versus the value and the authenticity. So I think that wave is starting to change, and I think that's the balance. The more that people are actually providing value and like substance, they're eventually going to win over time. And then that also comes with, if you do the lifestyle marketing, you have to actually like help people. You have to get results, and not scam people. So yeah, it
There's something to
is.
say
It
about.
is. Yeah, go ahead.
I said there's something to say about fake it till you make it. So I think some dudes in the past used that playbook, and then they actually started making legit money off the lifestyle marketing, the lease cars, and they could afford a real one, right? But Ty Lopez, you saw that? The
Yeah,
SEC,
yeah, I did.
yeah, pyramid scheme, 100 million. And it seemed like he got legit the past couple of years. I remember seeing like the last year, a lot of dudes like, oh, the OG Ty, like he's the one that really did the lifestyle, and he knew the game, and you got to give flowers to the guy. And all of a sudden now he's going down for like $100 million pyramid scheme or something.
Yeah. So one thing I will talk about the tie stuff, but before you say like the flex it till you make it or whatever you said, Fake it till you make
Make it
it.
till you make
I
it.
agree. Like, yeah, you can do that, but I think the problem is people see other people doing it, so then they purchase things that they don't even really want. Like, they just buy things because it's going to help them, but it's not even like authentically what they want. You know? So it's like you're spending money just to make more money on things that you don't even really like. So I think that's the problem. People just get lost in the sauce. But the second thing with Ty, I think Ty's like good. I think he made a lot of money. I don't think he's a scammer. In this case, though, I did listen to a podcast. I forget someone who broke it down. But in this case, he was basically acting as like he was trying to get investors into Radio Shack and like Bed Bath and Beyond and things like that. And he was using investor money to then pay off other investors. And he was also making large promises and guarantees, which when you do that, when you like make promises and guarantees of a 20% return, and you're using the money to then pay off other investors, that's when you get into like the SEC, IRS situation. That's when you actually can get sued and like get in trouble and owe money because that's just a conflict of interest that you're not supposed to do. So that was the problem. He probably just, I think he's an OG of obviously the online business space. And I know a lot of people that utilize his information to start marketing agencies and get their foot in the game. I don't think his info is scammy whatsoever. I don't think info is scammy in general. But this situation sounds a little bit blurred lines where he got into the corporate stuff and he was also falsifying like the profits and the P&Ls of the companies. Like he was saying like we have great cash flow and all of that, but they were taking out more debt on and they weren't making money. So he was telling investors that they were making money, they were cash flow positive, and then getting them to invest and then paying off other investors with their investments. So that is the tricky thing of the tie. 110 million is crazy. So that we'll see what that what ends up happening with him on that.
Zach, Sora. I don't think you've got into it yet, but I have been running and gunning on it. Dude, I know you've seen videos. Everyone's posted on Twitter like how
I mean, you sent
crazy.
me some.
Mine, no, but
Tell
I'm
me
talking about
about
like on
Sora.
Twitter. People were freaking, doing like Rick and Morty edits, but making their own. Bunch of like music, copyrighted music. So like they're saying, how is this even possible? Like they're gonna get sued to oblivion, but it's making crazy stuff, dude. Like I just made 20 videos, and I think 10 of them are postable and like legit for a client I work with, and it took me 30 minutes. Like and it's great. It's beautiful. It doesn't even look like too much AI at all. Like yeah, I did the anime ones, but you can do realistic ones as well. I mean, this is wild. I'm excited for it because now I don't have to pay a lot of the dorky editors. I love some of my editors. Some of them are good, but it's like the creative types that don't have to be reliant on the people that actually make that vision come to reality are going bye bye. Like, and then obviously maybe the creative types will get replaced too in some years or whatnot. But what's your opinion on all this stuff? It seems like we're having all this power now where you can literally take your visions, your creativity, and actually make it happen now.
I mean, I think I need to dive into a little bit more. I saw the stuff that you sent me. To me, it looks like anime or like cartoonish. But like, how do you think that helps with? My thought was using 5, 10, 15 seconds to portray like a CTA or something that I might say in an actual, other video, and then just using that as, content where you don't have to make talking style content every single day, but you can still push out content. That was my thought. Or like you put that before you speak something, so it just grabs attention. Where do you think like Sora comes in to play with like real video? Like how do you take your real video and turn it into something? Because that's typically what you would do with clients. Like I'm curious about that. Like what's your take?
Well, I haven't done it yet for real estate. The shit I was playing with was the other thing. But I've done it with these editors with like Google VEO or 3, the one.
Yeah.
And so basically, I'm taking photos from the photographer of a listing, and then I'm putting the agent, an AI version of the agent, doing different things in the house, whether it's playing like soccer in the big backyard, whether it's on a jet ski, beyond the dock, so you have like the lake views, and then he's on the jet ski, like, hey, come here. Skydiving. I had a real
And
estate
it
agent.
looks realistic. Like it literally looks like a real video. Because you did send me that one video It might have been a drone video or something, and it did look like the actual like
Dude,
house.
they can
Like
take yes, dude, they can take like
like it
these
looked
photos now
legit.
and make it drone video from that photo, and those look totally realistic. The agent, you can tell if you look at it really close, it's like okay, something is a little funky here, but it can pass off like, oh, this is kind of, is that actually correct? No, that's not him. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
like that's like a thing where you take the agent out of it, you know. So instead of having to go do photo shoots and videos at the place, it's like, hey, we're gonna do 50 different videos of everything you can do in this house. You're playing pool in the basement, you're making drinks at the bar. Like it's getting to there. Like you can't full on make it look exactly like the person and have them speak the words directly. But I've seen some dudes like freezer tarps. You know freezer tarps, right? We had him on the
Yeah.
podcast
Yeah.
way before he's
Oh, he's
supposedly
blown up.
dude, supposedly he just sold his uh nicotine pouch thing for like 10 million or something.
Okay, okay. I actually did message him on that because when George and them were doing T-Box, we did an event in Palm Beach, and I was down there, and me and Tarps talked a lot about like business. Then that was 2.5 years ago. Um, but yeah, he's blown up since then. I'm messaging him about him selling the pouches. Personally, this is my take. You're hearing it here first. My thought after that, because then I saw something. Then I listened to a podcast with. One of the Nelk boys talking about their Happy Dad, how they started blowing up Happy Dad. I think that Happy Dad either bought it from him and they're trying to implement it into their like system because I know they've been doing a lot of collaborations. I could be completely wrong, but that's my guess because his pouches aren't nicotine pouches; they are like caffeine pouches. So I think it's trying to get them. They're like into like Kyle is into like the health stuff and all that. So I think they're probably going to try to implement that into like their business. That's my take after just thinking. I could be completely wrong. Maybe some like big company bought it, um, but I know they have
Anyways,
distribution.
he's blowing up, and I know he's got some sort of deal with the Nelk Boys because what I was referring to the AI videos, he's doing like a
This stuff's good.
Hogwarts series, and it actually looks like him. So he's going through Hogwarts, and he's messing with the Lord Voldemorts, and he's with Harry Potter,
And it
and
sounds
he's
like
having.
him. He's using all his shit.
So look at that, dude. Like you had the character, you had the image. Now you have your AI guy do a million different videos, and people are liking it. People are laughing. I look at it. I think it's hilarious.
Dude, it's
So I think
great.
this is
It
what's
is
happening.
great content. It is. I like his VO3 stuff.
Yeah. So I mean, that's why I think Sora and all that's coming to. I still think if you're a creative type person, that it's going to be a great tool for you. But when comes the limit? Like 2 years ago, it was the Will Smith eating spaghetti that looked super ugly. Now we're making picturesque movie trailers in 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Like everyone
But I
talks
think
about the AGI, but and this is getting crazy. It's getting wild.
but if you can hop on it early, right? Like if you can like you could have a year or two of like you even said, hey, you're playing around with it. Let's say you find out good prompts, and you find out ways to make it more realistic and to be able to speak and talk the way that you want it to talk. Then once it actually does develop over the next 3, 6, 9 months, like you already have the setup to make it, 50% better than everyone else that hops onto it. So yours ends up being much more realistic. So I think that's like a good point you're making is just testing it and being creative with it now so that you already have it as a skill set later.
Yeah, exactly. Another skill set, but it's getting crazy. You got to test it out. You got that code now, and I would go into it because I think if you do Cameo, you can do your face. So you can do your intros for Talking Heads or do funny scenes of you stealing money from Magic Internet money. You should do a hacker video. So like you're a little hacker, like here guys, here's how I get my Magic Internet money, and then go into
I
a
was
video about
thinking about I was thinking about that. I was thinking about like funny like little skits,
Neo. You're like
shit
a
like that.
Matrix. You're in the Matrix. My Magic Internet money. That'd be great.
Dude, I'm thinking of some creative scripts like that because it would be cool. Imagine like you could just make 2 or 3 talking head videos a week, and then you could have 2 or 3 of like the same style skit videos like that. It's pretty cool, and you can be a little bit more like vulgar, a little bit outside the box with those skits because it's not technically you, but it's funny.
The issue is I don't see if I can make 15 of those videos in 30 minutes, and granted they're not all perfect, and maybe you have to have an editor go in and clean up a couple things here and there. we're going to be posting nonstop. All of a sudden I get my prompts. I send 30 prompts to my editor. I say, now you do it, make it look good. And the next day I have 30 videos and I post 10 a day. And when does it overload? How do we get out? How do we make a name for ourselves? Like, that's the
I mean,
scary
it's
part.
already overload, dude. It's
Yeah.
already overload. Like, I even find myself and I'm sitting on my phone too much. I'm like, dude, I just want to like throw this thing away, but then I got people I got to respond to and things I need to respond to. So, yeah, I don't know. It's going to be I know a lot of people are mentioning too, like now you need to build your personal brand now, right? Because like you said, we've talked about it. It's overload now once everyone else starts creating the fake OnlyFans models, the fake VO3 accounts, and you have 50, 60% of the accounts online are fake influencers. It's like, I don't, you're right. Like, when is the tipping point?
Yeah, that's scary. Yeah, I made a tweet the other day because we always talk about the monetary system and what's kind of moving and shaking. And oh, the dollar's gonna die, and everyone keeps saying that, especially the anti-Westerners. But it got me thinking because I've been to a lot of countries that have crappy currencies, developing type emerging markets, and I've been talking to some Brazilians because we're doing banking for different reasons down here. And a lot of them use that this new bank thing, which is starting to go into the USA now. It's a Brazilian bank that started like 10 years ago, and they all say, "Yeah, I can buy USDC, and I buy it, just for stability to have the dollar." Because everyone still, for the most part, all these different countries, if I have dollars, I'll at least be safe. My money won't go 50% in a month, or like Argentina, 1,000%. The real is inflated greatly in the last 15 years, right? So the dollar is still like savior to a lot of these people, and they're buying these up through new bank, right? And that's a Brazilian government, has their hands all over that. And I tweeted, I said, what happens when everyone in the world can bypass their governments and not stop using their BS currency and just buy digital dollars? We have all the power in the world, right? And the USD is going to be somehow attached to that, and it's coming from us, and it's backed by our U.S. military. So, what do you think about that, huh? If the whole world, instead of using reais and pesos, and now they have access to the dollars, I mean, their currencies are going to get destroyed, for one, and the dollar's going to stay strong.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think it's a part of what I've been talking about a little bit is the U.S. trying to keep like world reserve currency status through crypto. Um, I believe a large part of like the Clarity Act, which still needs to get passed outside of the Genius Act, is about that, like allowing other nations to be able to invest in the dollar by holding USDC or USDT. So I think like a part of that is to basically say like, hey, if Tether or USDC comes under the US government, it's considered US dollars, which is like the way that like US wants to still dominate the world reserve currency, but also like pay off their debt by other people utilizing their currency, essentially. So I think that is definitely somewhat a part of the future. Other countries utilizing just crypto or stable coins. The problem is then what happens to leverage of other world currencies? If you hold US dollars and now you're in Paraguay, Bolivia, Brazil, right? The lifestyle that you and many other people have lived in, what happens to that? That's kind of
No,
the
they're
question
not going
there.
to make the type of money unless somehow our whole economy gets exported again. But they're not. They're taking their $300-$400 salary and converting five reais to one USDC and just holding on to it. It's not like they're making 5,000
Oh,
reais.
okay. So yeah, no, I get what you're saying. Like if all of a sudden a month later, the currency drops 20%, like they still have the value of the $500 instead of it being, 350 now.
See, so that's the point. But the big scary point is this is the CBDCs, where there's no anonymity now, right? Cash is being fizzled out. Obviously, people have been using credit cards forever, so they can trace that. But when all money is transacted and the government can see what's happening, that's going to be an issue, okay? Because then you have no freaking privacy whatsoever. And obviously, I hope not, but Bitcoin probably was a Trojan horse, or at least allowed to get as big as it is to get everyone, okay, wow, this is the future, and oh, now the governments, let's just make it more safe, and tie it to the banks, and we'll issue our own things, and see every freaking transaction you ever make, and who pays you and how, and make sure we get our tax money. So that is scary. There's a couple solutions. Is Monero still legit? Like still really safe and hidden? I'm not sure, but I worry about that a lot because like even Brazil, you notice that. You try to get some cash, and then the beach guy was selling his coconut for 5 reais with the credit card machine, right? Like in Brazil, sometimes I don't get change. They don't have change for me because I get paid in cash a lot here, and there's a lot of places I go to where I pay and they don't have change for it. Okay, so it's happening fast. Okay, and Brazil is on the forefront for some reason, like the fintech and Pix. Pix blew up over COVID. I don't know how fast they did it, but everyone and their mother uses it. It's like Venmo. They pay for everything basically with it. Everyone has it, from the freaking Amazon to the homeless guy. Everyone has Pix. Okay, and they're saying this is like the forefront. What they're testing out in Brazil and now implemented everywhere else in the world.
The question on that, like if it blew up during COVID, did they? Do you remember, like right after COVID, they tried to push the Fed Now, which was like essentially like their way of getting you on a CBDC. Fed Now was supposed to be like the Pix of America. People were like, every American's gonna have to use like the Fed Now. So the question I have with Pix in Brazil, was there anything that they incentivized people like they did with the vaccines too, where they're like, oh, we're gonna give you $100 USD if you download Pix? Did they do that? They
I
did.
think something happened, but the way they got it out so fast was very
That's why I'm
suspicious.
wondering because you said it came out so fast. So I'm like,
And the Brazilians, which I don't think any single one of them trust their government at all. I don't know why you would. Got on board. They're like, okay, great. I think so. They must have give them, 50 reais for every sign up or something you did, and then they just make it fast transactions, right? So it's very sketchy, and the way the Brazilians just bought into it is mind boggling. But it is what it is.
yeah, I don't know. It's interesting. I thought you needed cash for like some of the vendors and stuff down here to like pay for chairs and coconuts and acai bowls and caprianas and stuff. So I got some cash, but I went to freaking like 6 different ATMs and they won't give me any cash with the debit card. People are like, "Oh yeah, it's easy to get cash from ATMs." I'm like, "I've been to every freaking bank here and they won't let me take out cash." So I went to Western Union, finally got some cash, and I go down to the beach to pay for a coconut. The guy's like, "No, Pix or Credito." And I'm like, "What? What? You guys, I thought it was for cash. No, it's just credit." So whatever.
What debit
Yeah,
card?
I don't know. It's very confusing to me with Brazil because I feel like they're ahead with the credit card stuff and Pix, but they're so behind in everything else. It's like you need a CPF. Maybe that they are ahead. Maybe that the CPF stuff, the extra stuff, but like I don't know. The people might be behind and the government's ahead, and it's like becoming totalitarian or like communistic. I don't know, but it's
Dude, that's
kind of
another
weird.
thing. The CPF. I have one, and they ask you for it everywhere. People just, okay, here we go. And sometimes you get like a discount. You can build a credit score. There's some perks, but they ask for it literally everywhere. Any shop you go to, restaurants, phones, iFoods, and it's so easy to find out a ton of information from that number. It's basically like the United States Social Security number, but not as private, obviously. And I know this because there's a tweet I had that blew up, and a dude, a Brazilian, came to my defense, and some dudes were talking shit. And this dude found his address, found out the weird websites he goes to, found out like his photos through a CPF. I don't know how he found
Yeah,
the CPF.
anything
But
you input it in, you could probably see like where you've been. You'd be
it,
like, "Oh yeah, you went to this convenience store and you bought food at this place too." It's like, "What?"
crazy because Brazil's super corrupt, right? So if you have people on the inside or any of the monetary stuff, you can get anything you ever freaking possibly imagine. But even online, you can look up their CPF thing, make an account, see all their credit. It's mind boggling. So it is very scary. It's hard to live off the grid. And some dude we met or I think I did at that wandering event. He lived in Brazil for like 30 years, and he left there to Argentina. He's like, because he always tweets it too. Oh, the privacy in Brazil, like the speed cameras and there's no privacy anymore. You're constantly tracked. I go to offices here, like my drone place. The place I was trying to get some footage off SD card. Any office I go to that's somewhat decent, I gotta go to the front desk, show my ID, get a photo taken, to go through the little gate with my photo screen to let me in through the gate. Like I've been to 10 places that had to do that to me. It's crazy.
Well,
So
that's my apartment. That's my apartment. It literally scans me at the front door, and then 30 feet later, I have to scan my face to get through to the elevator in the parking garage. And I'm like, but I didn't think anything about that. But it is the other countries you've been to, though, every single one asks for something similar to a CPF. But Brazil seems to be way, yeah, they ask you for different numbers every time you check out. Paraguay, Bolivia, Argentina, they all ask for it every time I checked out a place. Every place I've been to in Latam, they ask me for some
I
type of
don't
number.
remember,
But I think the
but
CPF stuff is a little bit more. Um,
maybe it's been around for a while. Yeah, I think it's been around for a while. So maybe the other countries it started coming, but I never did it. Like in Brazil, you have to have it for certain things. The iFood, okay, to rent off short stay, which is a shit company. It's like the Airbnb of Brazil. It's terrible.
yeah.
And I never felt like I never needed it in Paraguay or Argentina.
No,
Yeah,
you
never
never
did.
need it in other countries. That's why, like here, it seems like yeah, they're even to get a SIM card or certain things like that. How could you travel in Brazil 20 years ago if you didn't have a CPF? like, like trying to get a SIM card? Like, yeah, I'm just gonna go no service in like Brazil for the next like 3 weeks. Like, fuck
Real
it.
travel.
So,
Hey, I got some questions. Some dude, he wrote me some good questions. I'm gonna do a little consultation call with him. So I don't promote that much, but if you want to do some consultation with Nicky Boy, Mr. Bold, let's do it. So I like these three we can talk about. If you had to pick a couple cities long term in Latin America to build a base and potentially a family, which would you pick? Zach, from the places you've been, what comes to your mind first?
I need to see more places, but I'd need a little bit of beach. I'd probably need a little bit of Brazil, like 3 months of the year. Like, I need some ocean. Um, I could easily base like 3 to 6 months, honestly, between like Bolivia and Paraguay. Chill, cheap, good food. Like, I'm not even lying. I easily could. Then like Argentina or like Santiago, like all those. I think I need to see Santiago. I think Santiago would be really good. Um, I still think I need to hit more Colombia, but I don't want to be a Colombia sexpat bro like all the others. And now
Dude,
apparently
that's
the U.S. Now apparently the U.S. has to pay a $450 visa.
that's for the Colombians going to the USA. I read that. Yeah, it's for the Colombian, and it's less than that. It's that thing was fake news. I saw that post too. I think USA is like $80 maybe or 100 now. I don't think I paid last year when I went. But dude, that reminds me of Joe, the dude that's driving from Alaska to Argentina with a girlfriend. Okay, and he ended up loving Medellin, but he was talking so much shit beforehand. And it's like, dude, you're gonna like it. Trust me. I went to like the other major places, the Cali, the Bogota, Cartagena, Santa Marta. Santa Marta's pretty good. And I finally went to Medellin earlier this year because I did the same thing. I'm like, oh, I don't want to be associated with that. And it was amazing, dude. It was totally Hakuna Matata, like beautiful, great city, great city. And he made a tweet. He's like, man, I love Medellin so much, but I just can't get over in my head that people think I'm some weird sex pest. Mind you, he was traveling with a girlfriend, so he was with his girlfriend the whole time, who's like a American girl, and it was in his head. I'm like, dude, how lame, how non-Americano can you be to have that in your brain that you don't want to go to a place because you think that the locals may be thinking something stupid, right? It's
I'm
that's
just no, I'm just saying like I'm sure I would like it, but I've started to notice I like these like spots that are a little bit outside of the major areas. Um, like the major cities are almost like there's almost so much distraction, things going on. There's all that where it's like when you hit some of these smaller places, which is I think why I like the middle of Latin America a little bit better, is it's like chill. I can live fucking great, and I don't have like all the distractions. But I do need at least 3 4 months of the year. Like I need kind of that big city vibe, like a Buenos Aires or like some type of beach vibe. So for me, I think it's different for everyone, but it's like yeah, I couldn't give you three exact ones because I think I need to travel a little bit more. But what do you think? Like,
well. Here's the
your
point though
thoughts?
too. You've been with people when you're on these off the beaten path type places, okay? So if we're gonna see how it's like solo there, for a while and see if you feel the same way. Because I was the same way. I was, okay, I don't want to be where any gringos are. I want to go trailblaze and be unique, which was great. I love it. I think I still like to do it. But then I realized, damn, like, Paraguay was great. Meeting all those dudes that shared my same culture, I could talk to, I could do business with. Meeting up with gringos in Buenos Aires and Rio is like it feels good. You can't just be Mr. No Speak English for 2 weeks at a time and all alone and yes, there's fewer distractions, but then also I don't know. You need to talk to people and be around people, right? So there's a balance in that. I for sure think people need to go off
Yeah.
the grid and don't just get stuck in like a Rio bubble or Assumption bubble and in all these different places. But wait until you're doing it now solo. You'll be solo probably for a couple more months and see how different it feels, you know. But at the start, it feels great and it's very unique and good. So
Probably, but I'm also someone that like I don't mind being solo. A lot of
yeah,
people
until
a lot of people they can't do that. Like, bro, I went solo 6 years ago when I left Minnesota. So it's like I've had the experience, so I get it and I know how to operate on my own. But I think 80% of people, their mind like shuts off and starts freaking the hell out when they're by themselves. But that's why we talk about solo travel, why it's so important, because you kind of need to get that experience. But yeah, I think three main spots. I think two of the cities are probably like major cities, and then one of them would probably be like a low key spot, a lower key spot. Usually, what fits most people. Like, what is it? A lot of people like Buenos Aires, like Rio, or like Rio and like Santiago, and then they have like a Asuncion or some other smaller like tier 3 spot that they can chill at.
I think the Ascension Bros have a lot figured out. I'm telling you, safe, cheap, good network, and then they just fly to Rio, a couple times a month. And because you don't live in Rio, like I could never imagine living in Rio. Visiting is a freaking blast, but to me, it's bananas if someone actually wants to like settle there, especially in Brazil. I think 3 months max is your best bet in Brazil. Anything more, which I'm on again. I've done this my third time doing it. You start fucking losing your mind. Okay, 6 months is the absolute cutoff. Anything more than that, you're gone. You're lost. Your brain is shot. Okay, so. But yeah, I think Buenos Aires. If I had to like pick one city and do 1 year long, I think that's the only possible one in Latin America I could possibly maybe do, and that's got shitty weather for a decent chunk of the year. So yeah, I would have to get out. I couldn't just do a 12 month straight. But that's like the best, closest feeling I felt between Europe and with that still that Latin energy, that kind of vibe. So, but like you, I love the beach, right? So João Pessoa was amazing. I don't think I could live there year round for sure, but I could hit 6 months. I could do it. And yeah, that's a beautiful Brazilian beach town, 1 million people, totally safe, dirt cheap. Weather, good weather year round. But yeah, I don't know. I got to find those spots too to raise a family. Fuck, I have zero clue. I thought maybe you could do it in Brazil if you just put them in the best school possible, like the international school. But now I don't think so. I don't think raising a kid in this country is smart at all. I think you have to be an absolute, unless you send him to some military school in Brazil. They have those, okay? So you can, but then you're not by your kid. He's being like drill sergeant down and all that. So by the time the kid hits 6 or 7 years old, you got to get him in a different place because I don't think there's a lot of yuck. And a lot of people agree with me. I had that tweet about my sandals getting stolen, my food getting ravaged on a hike in the south of Brazil in Matinos. So safe. Everyone talks about the south is super safe, and there's no one. It was like a Tuesday, and so it's like empty. And my shit got freaking jacked by two dudes that I saw on top of the mountain that were smiling and talking to me. Okay, and they took one sandal. They took one fucking sandal, not both of the sandals. So I walked down the rest of the freaking mountain with one sandal. I was just livid. And then my girl's sandal one was at the bottom at the base where we left our stuff because we didn't want to climb up this mountain with the sandals on. Another one was on top. Like they're just fucking with you. You know what I mean? And thousands of freaking not at the comments, but like hundreds of comments on that Twitter were like, dude, I'm Brazilian, I can't stand it either. This is the lowest trust society. Our culture's rotten. It's only getting worse. Like we need massive change. Like I thought I was gonna get like thrown out of Brazil because when you go against Brazilians, they usually team up on you, and it was the exact opposite. And I've seen it too many times. I'm owed too much money here. I've seen too much dumb business. I've came to the conclusion Brazil is a place that you spend at least $10,000 a month. You compound away. You have maids, you have people, drivers you trust, and don't have to worry about nothing. Don't do any business with anyone, and then it's good. And you lay on the beach, Hakuna Matata. But other than that, dude, I don't know. I've tried in this country. I've tried very hard. I still love it. It's the most beleza in the world, but it's the most freaking crazy in the world, and there's no way a family can be raised here. That was a
I think
rant.
that's probably why the rich have different spots like in the north, and they probably spend half their year up here. Like the first day I was here in Maceo, Lambo Urus, a Ferrari, multiple Porsches, but I haven't really seen those driven around like during the week this week, but on Sunday I did. And I'm like, yeah, they probably have multiple places in different states of Brazil that they just like they might stay in Rio or Sao Paulo majority of the year, but then they come up here for like a month, or they go to their other places for like a month because it's also right so much more affordable as well. So yeah,
Dude, they don't even have like they have whole suburban American style suburbs in compounds. Check out Alphaville. They usually have them all over. I went to one. I don't know if this was an Alphaville branch one, but it was a similar thing in Joe Pessoa. It was across like the main highway, so like in its own field, super high walls, security everywhere, like guys with guns, and you go inside of here, dude, and it's suburban houses, beautiful ones, no walls in front of their yards, like every Brazilian house, like kids riding bikes in the streets, like it was like out of a movie. I was like, this is the craziest shit I've ever seen, and they had these all over the country. So these rich people literally go in there and do not associate, talk to anyone outside of it. Basically, I mean, it's wild. They might have like one in Maceió. I would go check
I
it out.
guess you're right about that. 10, 15 grand a month in a major city, bunker up, and then you spend the rest of your money on getaways when it gets too stressful and annoying.
Yeah, and 10 grand, dude. And besides Rio, and I think you can do it in Sao Paulo. Even though I've never spent any days in Sao Paulo, just flown in and out. But 10 grand outside of there, you're living really good. Okay, you can eat out every day. You have the maid. You have no worries. Okay, so it's not like I mean you can do it for less for sure. You can spend 5 grand, still live really good. But I'm saying to keep your sanity, to keep your total and complete peace, I think $10,000 in 2025 to not deal with any bullshit is the way to go in Brazil. You can do it for way cheaper though, and still be good. Like,
What do you
you'll be
think you could
fine
do that
these next
in
3 months.
in Fort
You won't deal with
Lauderdale?
any of this shit, huh?
If you're eating out, let's say you're eating out every day, you have a maid, maybe you have a chef, maybe you have private drivers. You think you could do that 7, 10 grand in Brazil? What do you think that price would be in like a Fort Lauderdale or Atlanta or Miami per month? Three times the price? 30, 40 grand a month?
Yeah,
Yeah,
gotta be. Yeah.
I'd say so. Yeah, at
But
least
I'm not trying to scare you.
25.
I think you won't see any of this these next 3 months. Like you'll see pieces of it, but you'll be so like intoxicated with the best parts of Brazil, it won't matter to you. Like, oh, okay, whatever. Okay, this guy. Okay, Kukuru Matata, Beleza, right? It's just after that 3 months, like when the Beleza glasses start coming off, and you see stuff, and you're like, are you fucking kidding me? Are you serious? Like it's just it drives you mad. So, but if you're gonna be less than 3 months, don't even worry about it, people. But if you're gonna buy somewhere or act like you're gonna start living here, get ready for it. What is that? AC? What's that noise?
I don't know. I hear that too. I thought it was coming from yours because I turned my AC off. I just don't know. Like the psst.
Yeah, it's
Would
yours.
you get?
It's yours. But it goes off when you start talking.
It goes off when you mute yourself.
No, when you mute yourself, yeah,
Now it's fine.
yeah. Don't worry. Hey, here's the next one. Another good question this guy wrote. The idea that some people float around online that Argentina, Uruguay, Paraguay are basically white countries, is that actually true on the ground? I've never cared too much about the racial stuff, but with all the anti-white rhetoric pushed on the Anglo world, it is probably something I should take into account. What do you think about that?
It's like, as in, they don't like white people, or that the people are more white, or that they
Yeah, like
only
they're
like
white
white people.
countries, and I assume the other part was like, yeah, you're treated good if you're white. But are these countries you Paraguay and Argentina we went to, are they white? Like if you look around, is it like where we're from, Minnesota, or no?
No, I don't think they. I mean, there's some people that literally that look like white. I've even thought about that in Brazil. bro. And when I was in Rio, it's like the most race mixing place of all time. I'm like, oh, there's a white American guy, and then all of a sudden he's speaking like the craziest Portuguese ever. I'm like, what? Same thing in Argentina. Like people thought I was like somewhat Argentinian, like, and I'm like, yeah, I'm not Argentine at all. But yeah, I mean, I think it's like a mix of people. You get in Latin America in certain countries, there is like quite a bit of different race mixing. So I think you're treated good when I guess you're white. But I personally have not gotten that feeling that people boast about online, where it's like all hail the white man, like you're treated like a king. Like I've never had like tons of women be like looking at me with golden eyes, like I'm just like some conquistador. Like I don't think that's the truth. I think that's boasted. I think that's boasted about way too much online for people that are pushing something. But yeah, there is a little bit of an advantage because you're looked at as North American. You know, like the average salary in North America is the top 1% of the top 5.5%. Like I saw someone tweet, maybe Bowtied Mexico, or someone tweeted the top 1% in Mexico City is considered like $2,400 a month. It's like that's the top 1% in Mexico. So that's like an average salary of like the top 50% in America. So it's like you're treated well because you have a little bit more respect and manners, but you're also considered that you have like a little bit more money, I think.
I'd say Argentina reminds me a lot of northern Italy. So people have been there. It's white, but it's not like Denmark. Okay, and Uruguay, I heard it's basically the same as Argentina. And again, depends too where you are in Argentina. Remember in Bariloche, there's a lot of like Indonesians looking people. We saw the locals were very Indonesians.
Yeah. Okay, if we're talking skin color, yeah, the skin color in Argentina is definitely like lighter and whiter, where like in certain places you'll see the darker skin. Yeah.
Yeah,
Bariloche a little bit, hugs, chili. So,
yeah, but Paraguay, I mean, they look mostly Indonesias types, more Indonesias than like Mezzotitos or whatever. So or Mezzotitos, I don't
mestizos,
know. Yeah,
mestizos,
yeah.
yeah. They don't speak
Paraguay for
any
sure. I would
English in
consider
Paraguay
Paraguay
though.
white. Huh?
Paraguay is the worst when it comes to language though. Like 97% of the women don't speak any like English. So they all spoke Spanish.
But yeah, Paraguay. No, I wouldn't say that, but it's great. It's super safe. It's fine. I never felt like people were trying to get one over me. I think they're really good people. And then the other one, uh, the anti-rhetoric. Yeah, I think okay. So to come back on that point about the conquistador type thing, I kind of felt like that when I first came to Brazil in Floripa in 2021. I think maybe it was like right after the pandemic and people were just like fiending to go crazy, or it was kind of in the middle of the pandemic. And the Northeast, I felt pretty, whoa, what are you doing here for sure? And Colombia in certain parts, but it's nothing like Asia. So like dudes who've been to Southeast Asia, that's like a different level. That is the craziest shit ever. It's like you are God's gift to the world in Cambodia and Thailand and those type of places. But yeah, I don't know. I think the Southern Cone is definitely more safer, definitely more European, 110%. But like white, like if you want like a but what is white anymore? I mean, what countries are white now? Like this dude, he's from Canada, and he says everyone's Indian. USA is like half the country's Latino now. Latino now. We got all the
Yeah.
Muslims now in Europe. Where's a white country? It's
And that's what
crazy.
I'm noticing. Like, there's certain places that you go, like in Brazil, like it's like everyone looks like they could be from anywhere in the world. There's people that look like they're black. They look like they're mixed. They look like they're Mexican. All of a sudden, they look white. They look European. They look Russian. They're speaking like crazy Portuguese accents. I'm like, what the heck is going on here? like, I'm like crazy. But yeah, what is white at this point? But what's that funny meme that's going on like everyone's posting like the VO3 photos or ChatGPT photos of like the Indians and blacks being like, I'm in Argentina. I stayed here for a week, but I'm now trans. I was treated terribly. People hate me, but I'm now transporting to Paraguay or whatever. Like,
That's hilarious. All the Argentines are acting like they're Indians or like Black Americans and posting about how bad and expensive Argentina is, but they're Argentine people because they don't want them there.
Oh, they
Because there's some,
are. Oh, they are.
yeah, they're all Argentine accounts, yeah. But because the Indians now get in. If you have a USA visa, they made a deal where you can go to Argentina now. So they're expecting like a lot of them to come, and but yeah, I don't know Argentina. So like everyone says it's racist, and I would think it okay, kind of, but it's not. It's weird. It's not necessarily about the skin color. It's about like how they act. So if you act like there's white people like white skin in the favelas, vishas or whatever, and they say they're black because they act, with like a black soul or some shit like that. So it's a weird thing, but I don't think they're that racist. Like I know a lot of black people that didn't like it there and had a tough time, but it's not like total skin color. They say at least.
Yeah, I I don't know. I've heard mixed reviews. But some places you go, like even in Bolivia, people will like as we know, like some places they don't want to be as white Americans. I like being tan. Like I think tan makes my skin look better. I look better. In other places in Latin America, they don't like to look darker because it makes them look like more indigenous. They would rather be whiter. So a surprising thing in Bolivia, people would walk around and they'd cover their face from the sun. They'd walk around with a hand up. And Jack told me, he's like, yeah, they don't like to be tanner. And I'm like, well, what is 30 seconds of covering your face gonna do? But if you do that 50 times a day of covering your face in the sun, I guess you get less dark. But I kept asking a couple girls after that, and they're like, yeah, we don't want to be darker. And so I think some places just they don't want darker skin, they want lighter skin. So it's an
Everywhere I
interesting
went, everywhere I went in Cambodia and Thailand, there was skin bleaching for sale. So I know in India they do it too. They all bleach their skin. They try to bleach it to get as white as possible. The beauty standard is huge. Like South Korean is like the biggest beauty standard. They all have like super white Asian skin, and like the rich Chinese do too. And then, but like La Mora Rosa, there's a saying during the colonial times, like improve the race, a Spanish saying, and it was about making the skin like bleaching the skin or getting rid of like the savage of the Indonesians and the slave population. So it depends, I think, where you go in Latin America, but I definitely do feel I get treated pretty well most places I go for being like a white dude.
yeah.
And yeah, obviously some of it's about money, but I also think it's the appearance too. So,
Yeah.
but I don't like the question, the three white countries, whatever. I don't think they're considered like Denmark or anything like that, of course.
No, no. I mean, yeah, there's certain times when the cash register girl gives you a little extra smile, or certain girls look at you a little bit different, but that could be any foreigner, to be honest. So, for
So,
sure.
I think I have one more thing on here, but we had a good conversation. Keep it around an hour. Oh, dude, I made that tweet, and it kind of got numbers and a lot of like spam and weird, um, like health people. There's that health Twitter is funky. There's a lot of different people, especially after COVID with all the cleanses and from the vaccine. But I was thinking about this ever since I did ivermectin when I got the scabies in Paraguay. I like don't have much desire now for unnatural looking women. Like the surgeries, maybe obviously a lot of tattoos, the colored hair, a ton of makeup on. It's like before I'd be like, okay, like, I didn't love it, but I'd be like, okay, hey, this is let's go on a date and all that. But now it's like, stay away from me. And everyone's just like, your soul is more purified, and the parasites go into your lust and they're your organs. It's like, what the fuck is this some truth? But I swear to God, I feel a lot more calm now. Obviously, some things have changed, like living with a woman and so forth. But still, I've somewhat done that in the past, and it wasn't the case.
The woman
So
probably
yeah, what
loves
about
to hear
parasites?
that.
Yeah, what
The
about
lady,
parasites and
the
cleansing?
lady probably loves to hear that. Oh yeah, you've been cleansed. You're
Yeah, I don't know what's
you're
happening.
you're
Maybe I'm just
man.
getting old.
I mean, what did you look? Girls like that before. What did you like look at them as before?
Yeah, we're gonna have a good time. I expect like
As
have
a hookup.
fun, show no, but like not just to bang them, you know what I mean? But yeah, of course, it's like I wasn't gonna date them, like really date. But I made that clear too. I wasn't playing them along. It was like, hey,
I know,
you're
but
local.
you see that in these places. That's what I'm saying. You see that like right tattoos are huge in honestly, a lot of these countries, Argentina, Brazil, like they're very big. A lot of people just have tattoos. Everyone knows about the butterfly tattoo, things like that. Okay, but when a girl has more than a couple tattoos, you kind of instantly think of this is just someone for a good time or a fun time. Like it's not someone that you're gonna, that you really look
No,
at
I'm
as like
not thinking that way
bringing
anymore.
back
Like I'm
home to
not being like,
mama, something serious.
but I'm not like, damn, oh yeah, I wanna. Some girls got the boob job or some big. I'm just like, it doesn't look natural. Like my parasites don't. They've been shot out, and I don't want to get more. Because that's what they're saying. They're like, yeah, people that have all that have more parasites, or also your degenerate behavior is because you were full of parasites or something like that. I'm like, fuck, maybe there's some truth to this stuff, you
Wow.
know? Like some big accounts that have like a ton of followers that have like all these testimonials. They're like, yeah, it's totally true. There's a correlation, and or maybe you're just gay now. That's what some people kept saying. I was like, okay. Then they would say that. Then I've heard this before, other places that this is a big thing in that community where like dudes do cleanses, and all of a sudden they're like, whoa, I don't know what my sexuality is anymore. So there's a lot of trippy stuff down this hole. I'm gonna do a podcast again with this Logan, who's like really into the cleansing, and I'm gonna get more answers because I'm thinking about. It, I'm like, damn, like this is. I'm gonna try some more. You know, you've done some cleanses, no?
I mean, I do a water fast like every few months for sure. Anytime I go on like a nice little like alcohol bender or I drink for a few days in a row and I feel like shit, then I'll do a water cleanse either right after or um, a few days later, just to like reset my gut, my energy, all that, my liver. So yeah, I do that. If you do another one with him, ask him though because he does tons of cleanses, and I think at some point if you do it all the time, it's like how do you even know the difference between one like if you're doing 12 different cleanses throughout the year, how do you even know whether it's helpful or not if you're just constantly like resetting your body or resetting your gut or resetting your gallbladder? Like, how do you even know? Like, if you're doing it all the time. So I have that question because I'm just curious. Like, I just
That's
feel
what I
like
told
at
him.
some point it's too much.
I told him when I was like 17, 18 years old, I found that Dave Asprey, bulletproof coffee guy,
Yeah.
and he was all about longevity and I don't even work out and look, and he took his shirt off at some conference and he had a six pack and we're like, what the hell is going on? And so I looked at this dude and I got on a ton of supplements back then. And that's when I first started taking vitamin D, which I've taken ever since. I think vitamin D is a must. It's great for people. But I was taking like 50 different supplements a day at 18 years old. And so I'm like, oh, I'm gonna have like this limitless brain. You know the movie Limitless?
Yeah.
And I was getting that way. Dude, bulletproof coffee, when you first start it, you feel that way. It's the craziest thing. It's like grass fed butter with some MCT oil, coffee, but it's mixed. And something about it is unbelievable. Your energy, I got to start doing that again. It was amazing. And so I'll take these pills. I'm like, damn, I feel unbelievable. But then after a while, it's like you don't really function as well if you don't have all the pills. It becomes like a mental thing. And
Yeah.
so I stopped doing it. And I started traveling. You can't take 50 different things with you, right? You have to take the best ones and use it. And also, I didn't want to be reliant on this. Like, how can I do crazy adventures if I have to take 50 different pills to feel normal in my head, right? But so I was really into this stuff. And then I went down what I just told you. That's why I brought it to him before. And he's like, yeah, there's a lot of like psychotic type actors or people in this space, and he said I was one of them. And then, but he's an extremist. He said like I want to go to the absolute pinnacle of it and so forth. So I'm gonna catch up with him on that idea. But they're talking about like deep cleanses. So a lot of dudes on that post I made were like, dude, wait till you try Fenben or something. And this is like something that's been curing cancer, some crazy shit. Dudes are like, your
Yeah.
personality might totally change. Your energy, your skin is gonna. I mean, dudes are like having life changing experiences from this stuff.
Yeah, they're like they act in the same way, but they fight different causes. I heard about the Fenben stuff when we did the ivermectin in Paraguay. It's like ivermectin attacks bacteria. One of them attacks like virus. Like they attack separate things or something. Um, but yeah, it's interesting. But I think about that all the time. The longevity stuff, I do think extended fasting, not like the 16, 24-hour fast, like when everyone hears about fasting, they think about that. I think like literally doing 3, 5, 7 day fasts is amazing for your health, and just doing that like once a year would be great. But I think that would be amazing for like people in their 50s, 60s, 70s, like our parents. But I could not. I told my parents when I did a fast like a year ago that I was like, yeah, I've been water fasting for like 4 days because I was at home at the time or whatever. And they're like, you're not gonna eat food? And they're like, what are you doing? Like, are you gonna die? Like, I couldn't imagine like family members or people going more than 24 hours without eating because you have your natural responses to like hunger and you instantly think, no, you can go without food for like a long ass time. But I think it'd be great because it creates autophagy. It creates more creation of red cells, white blood cells, which attack your viruses. It'll clear out like the bad virus and the bad cells because it restricts them from carbs and sugars and things like that, which is how they keep creating more and more. So I think health wise, yeah, it's super super smart. But most people are gonna be like, no, it's crazy. I can't go 24, 48 hours, 72 hours without food. But I also do it to slim down. Like if I've noticed I've gotten extra fat from like eating out a lot or like drinking, I do it because like after a few days, it creates autophagy, which is basically the way you get your energy is it just starts burning fat. So you'll burn fat, you'll lose like, 2, 3, 4 pounds of fat, which could take 60, 90 days to get rid of naturally. So yeah, I think it's great.
There's so much ancient wisdom and stuff on it, and the Bible, and all these different people talk about the extended fast and how important it was, and how we've gone away from it. I've done intermittent fasting for a long time, and I talked to you about this. I had to start switching it up, doing the Ray Peat thing, where I do the fruits in the morning because I was
Yeah,
starting.
how is that? How is that?
It's good. I haven't been as consistent for like the last couple of months because I feel good, but I should probably do it again. It was really good. I stopped my I was getting like heart palpitations and just feeling like off for a while, and but I need to do the extended fast for sure. But the intermittent fasting worked for so long, and I think my body just adapted to it, and I love doing it. That's why I had to switch it up. But I need to do a long. I think the longest fast I've done is maybe 36 hours. I might have done 2 days once, so I need to push it to the next level.
Now, I think the most I did was almost 7 days. And then
Seven.
my plan was five, and then I just felt fucking so good after five, where I was like, I don't care to eat. My energy is great. I was sleeping like 4 or 5. Like I didn't. When I slept, I felt like such amazing, like deep sleep, and I could go to sleep at any time, and I was waking up like naturally, like 4 or 5 in the morning. Like I felt incredible, and so I was just like, I'll just keep going. Like might as well. So I did that. But the problem, if you do it out here, is typically you need at least some type of electrolytes. The problem, I made a tweet about it, like in Latin America, it's like, yeah, you can get Andean salt or pink sea salt and like sodium to replenish your sodium. But there's other like minerals that you might get, like electrolytes or BCAAs or potassium that you can't fucking find anywhere. Like you can't buy it from like health stores where I could literally just order it off Amazon in the US and get like good supplements that I can do that. And then if you don't have certain things after like 3, 4 days or whatever, you just start feeling a little bit off where you should be feeling like really good and really energized because you're just kind of not replenishing the right minerals because you're just drinking water and salt. You still need potassium and magnesium and other things as well. So, yeah.
Hmm. Yeah, I gotta
Yep.
try it. But I'm gonna get a little cleanse in here probably pretty soon after I talk with him and see what else changes in my life. I mean, it's crazy stuff they're talking about, like life changing stuff. All right, Zach, it's time for a shahasku. I gotta go. All you can eat meat. Get some a lot of food in me. Now
Ah,
that we're talking about
Churrascaria, eh? Churrascaria.
it's time to eat, my friend.
Well, your buddy just texted me, so I got to talk with him about some credit stuff too. So,
Oh yeah, yeah. All right, guys.
and
Everyone
I
else, live
might.
good.
You sure? You sure?
You guys something to say?
No, I was just gonna say you're still trying to convince me on the Santiago trip, but Zachy might just
Chile.
pull a
Let's go to
fucking
Santiago.
might just pull yeah Chile road trip, but Zach just might pull might just go to Dubai. He might just rip Emirates and then Qatar and then bounce on over back to the U.S. on a crazy trip. But we'll see. We'll see. I'm gonna think it through. What's better, memories with my friend for a couple of weeks or flying the greatest airlines the world has to offer? I don't know.
We'll talk about it. But all right, everyone else, live bold.